Some secrets can never be shared, like what your husband learned in the sacred forest. You can read books, make assumptions, and try to imagine things, but you can never get confirmation. Asking too many questions is considered impolite. Some things are simply nyinyi. That means forbidden in Jola. My husband, Papis Kujabi, is a Jola from Senegal, West Africa. He is the son of the chief of the village of Belaye, where the only way to be recognized as a man is to undergo the rite of passage in the sacred forest. I met Papis when I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Belaye from 1986 to 88. Papis was 17 then, and I was 23. I thought of him as my little brother. Belaye is in the lush southern region of Senegal called Casamance. The villagers live off the land. They grow their own food and raise livestock. Their main crop is rice. I lived with the Kujabi family in a mud brick house. They fed me and took care of me like their own child. They called me Aminata Kujabi.
I remember the first time I met Amy, I was so shocked, by the fact that she can really come from the United States and bump into a village like Belaye, without really any other relatives, And I felt really sorry for her, and what I could do at that point is really to offer her my services,
I couldn't speak any Jola, hardly, just the greetings, kasumai, kasumai kep. I think there were great expectations on the part of the village that I was going to do great things, and I really had no idea what I was supposed to be doing. I would say that the village gave me much more than I gave them.
About 10 years after my Peace Corps service, I got homesick for Belaye, so I went back to see my family. I especially wanted to see my father, Suleiman Kujabi, because we'd been really close and he was getting old. Everyone in Belaye calls him Le Père, which means the father in French. Papis had grown up. He was the principal and teacher in an elementary school near the capital. No longer the little brother I remembered, we quickly became soulmates.
She came back to say hello to my family. This touched me very deeply, and I doubled my trust in her. And this became a feeling of love.
We asked Papis's father for permission to marry. According to tradition, a Jola man shouldn't marry until he's gone through the rite of passage. Le Père gave us his blessing to marry, even though Papis hadn't been initiated into manhood. So Papis left everything that was familiar to him, his home, his family, and his job, and came to live with me in Washington, D.C. We were married 2 months later.
Would your family or other people in Belaye be surprised to see you doing a lot of the things you do here to help me?
In a normal family life, cooking is for females. They go to the market and then buy all the groceries and then make the food.
Well, I'm glad you're a liberated man.
Oh, yeah. When I first arrived here, the biggest adjustment I had to make was learning how to be alone. Changing cultures really means starting all over again from square one. First, I had to learn English, and now I am back in school studying electrical engineering.
Yes.
At the other side, the derivative of x plus 1.
Yeah. Is 1.
In terms of really being what I am, most of the part is due to my Jola education. It's an education that really helps you to be in the society, to be an element of a group, to feel really tied to other people. You're not really a free element. You are part of a group, and you identify yourself according to that group. And it gives you a meaning. It gives a meaning to your life. Here we are in the United States. Many people don't know where they come from. They don't know what their references are, and it does really leave people sometimes really sad if you can't know where you're from, who you are, and what was really your base, Being a Muslim, I pray in a certain way, to have God's blessings. But on the other hand, my grandfathers are really animists, and I was raised in an animist culture, and that culture is part of me. Animism is a belief in God through natural objects called fetishes. A fetish can be a piece of wood planted in the ground, or a place like a tree or a river where the spirits of the ancestors live. We ask those spirits for help because they are closer to God than us.
The rite of passage into manhood is the most important animist tradition in Jola culture. They call it Futampapu. Even though he was almost 30 years old, Papi still hadn't gone through the rite of passage because there hadn't even been an initiation ritual in Belaye since 1963, before Papis was born. Papis's father was determined to initiate the young men of Belaye before he died. For generations, it has been his family's role to organize this event.